Have you been invited somewhere?
We have been invited, Watson,
We have. Where to?
to the Baker Street Irregulars' annual...
Okay. Is it working? Okay, let's go. This is the Half Moon Walk case, the final case in the game. So let's see how it goes.
dinner. They sent us an invitation. It is on the table.
At dinner? How could those street urchins afford anything like that? I can't understand your interest in them, Holmes. They're dirty. They wouldn't hesitate to steal your wallet.
Watson, you should be excited. It is a secret dinner. Its location changes every year. Read the menu. Sounds mouth-watering.
All right. We, the secret police of Baker Street, invite you, Sherlock Holmes, and Dr. Watson to our annual dinner. Menu, entree, frozen rat head salad. Is this a joke?
Not at all. Pray continue.
Main course, sow's udder in Danny Nutcracker's way. Sounds disgusting, Holmes. Hedgehog goulash. Street turnips in homemade juice. And it goes on.
I can hear them on the stairs now.
Oh, we can't go there. We can't eat that.
Watson, you'll hurt the feelings of those poor children. We have to go.
Oh, Mr. Holmes.
It is fine, Mrs. Hudson.
Mr. Holmes!
Wiggins, Dr. Watson is getting ready. He will be delighted to join us. You don't look well, my young man. Is there something wrong? Don't tell me the dinner is cancelled.
Mr. Holmes is my brother Leighton. He's in a prison cell. They say he's killed 2 men. You have to help us, Mr. Holmes, because I know he didn't do it.
Where is he now?
From what I've heard, they took him to the yard, and they gave him a good beating already. You know what they're like. They'll hang him. They won't look any further.
Holmes, we have to help him.
Well, and forget about the dinner. Wiggins, I'll take the case.
You're fantastic, Mr. Holmes. I'll be waiting for you at the crime scene. You'll be there, right? It's on Half Moon Street in Whitechapel.
Very well.
Okay.
Hello, Toby. All you need now is a shawl and a mock cap, and you could be Mrs. Hudson's younger sister.
Okay. Let's grab the letter. Okay. Whoa. Okay. Yep, all good. So I got the poisonous plant. Okay, we'll go to Half Moon Street first. Who are you? Just some drunk on the road. Guess we're going down here. Very dark.
Please, gentlemen, leave the scene now. Oh, Mr. Holmes. Is that you?
Good evening, Constable...
Constable Marrow. I was here with Inspector Aberline during the Ripper case, Mr. Holmes, back in '88. But then this is nothing like that case. With this one, we've got the murderer, the weapon, and the statements, which speak for themselves.
Of course, Marrow. But you know that appearances can sometimes be deceiving. Who were the victims?
The two men here, both shot. The stab fellow was Brian Vercotti, a well-known ruffian. The other, Kenneth Butler, a jeweller by trade.
You spoke of statements. You have witnesses?
Well, I was there, so I gave my own statement. And then there were two other witnesses who said they saw the killer Chapman. Mr. Turner, a gentleman who lives in that flat over there. And Polly Powell, a flower seller, who was over at the far side of the street.
So, Constable Marrow, I should be delighted to hear your testimony.
I was standing at the north side of Half Moon Street. That was the side that you came from.
But you would have been unable to observe this part of the street, where we are standing now.
That is correct. But I saw the two victims slowly enter Half Moon Street, and then shortly after, the fireworks started. A few minutes after that, the fellow Chapman rushed towards me and ran into Half Moon Street.
Please continue.
I didn't pay attention, but suddenly I heard a woman's cries and police whistles on the other side of Half Moon Street. I rushed over there and I saw the two dead bodies on the ground. When I reached Whitechapel Street, I saw Leighton Chapman. He'd been caught by two police constables.
Okay.
Did you hear the shots?
I didn't hear any shots. The fireworks were all over the sky. They were so loud I couldn't hear anything else.
What were the fireworks in honor of, Constable?
Well, today's Queen Victoria's birthday, Mr. Holmes.
Yes, I appear to have lost track of the days. It is May now, of course. Constable Marrow, what else caught your attention while you were running through Half Moon Street?
I saw nothing but rats, and I took the time to light every corner with my lamp.
Did you happen to look up at Mr. Turner's window when you were on Half Moon Street at that time?
Yes, I saw that the window was open, but no one was there. It was dark in the room.
Constable, your statements have been of great value to me.
Okay, let's examine the two bodies.
A tattoo from Westgate Prison. Vercotti must have done some time there. He tried to stop the bleeding with his hand. Death was not instant. The bullet penetrated his stomach, a dreadful wound. Brian Vercotti suffered greatly. What a terrible way to die.
Okay,
This is an ordinary key. The bullet struck his head. This man didn't stand a chance. A piece of wood that has stuck between the cobblestones. Let us take a closer look.
Could be wrong, but that kind of resembles a bullet to me.
This shard of wood is quite new.
Either that or it's the tip of something.
Good evening, Mr. Turner.
I heard Constable Marrow reply to you as Mr. Holmes. Are you that detective gentleman? I've heard of you. And well, I know things about this evening.
Excellent. Might we hear your story? Could you tell us everything that you may have seen or heard?
I was already in bed when the fireworks started. A few moments after, I clearly heard 2 gunshots from outside.
Please continue.
You heard the
I quickly
gunshots
got up, I grabbed
through
the
the
lamp
fire.
from my nightstand,
Fireworks.
and I rushed towards the window. I looked down, and I saw 2 bodies. And there was a man with a gun who was standing nearby.
Where exactly?
Well, near this body.
Did he notice you?
I don't think so. He rushed towards Whitechapel Street without looking around.
Mr. Turner, did you see anyone else in the street?
No, I saw no one but that man, the murderer, the fellow they caught.
Were the 2 shots you heard consecutive?
Yes, there was a very short pause between them, and they sounded different somehow. It seemed to me that the second shot was louder than the first.
That is an interesting comment.
Okay.
Mr. Turner, what were your actions after you stepped up to the window?
I was afraid that the man with a gun might return, so I stayed close to the window till I saw the policeman coming in the Half Moon from Whitechapel. Then I walked out to tell them everything I saw.
You have helped us a great deal, Mr. Turner.
Okay. Oh, Wiggins.
Mr. Holmes, did you see my bro?
No, I haven't been to Scotland Yard yet.
Mrs. Powell?
What do you want?
My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm assisting the police with their investigation of the crime that took place this evening.
Well, I've already gave my testimony, but very well.
Could you tell us everything that you may have seen or heard?
Yes. I was selling my flowers as usual, and then the fireworks began, in honour of Queen Victoria. I enjoyed those. But then, all of a sudden, a young lad ran out of Half Moon Street and stopped just by me. He had a gun in his hand. He was like a ghost, and all covered in blood. It was dark, but I could see him, because of the flashes from the fireworks.
And then?
I screamed as loud as I could. I knew that a policeman should be on duty in the vicinity. He had no time to escape. 2 constables got him. Then another constable came out from the very same street, and I heard him talking of a horrible murder.
Wonder why I can't do a character profile of her.
Mrs. Powell, did you hear the gunshots?
I'm not sure. You know, what with the fireworks?
Did you see anyone else leaving Half Moon Street, prior to or at the time of the crime?
No, sir, I did not. Even with all the fireworks, I was very attentive, as I'm always on the lookout for customers.
My thanks to you, Mrs. Powell.
Okay, I guess I gotta go to Scotland Yard. There's 2 guys. I guess one of them would be Wiggins' brother. I don't know who the other one would be. Okay. Off to Scotland Yard. Let's see what deductions I have. Okay, so that's it for now. Let's see what he has. I think he came in, found the gun, saw
Mr. Holmes,
the two people,
whatever
picked
brings
up
you
the
here
gun
so
and then
late at
ran.
night?
I'm interested in the case of young Leighton Chapman. He was arrested earlier this evening and accused of a double murder.
I beg your pardon? That case is quite clear to the police. Or are there any new facts that we don't know about?
Who knows, Inspector?
Look, you are free to investigate, of course, Mr. Holmes. Chapman was arrested with a revolver in his possession, which you can find in the evidence room. The suspect himself is in custody.
Did you find anything else on his person?
A few personal belongings. Nothing particular, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you, Lestrade.
Okay, let's look at the belongings and then we'll talk to him.
So this is the gun that Leighton was holding when he was caught by the police. It is a Webley revolver, a reliable weapon. It seems as though the shells were not removed from the cylinder. Two out of the 6 shells have been fired. There were 2 shots. These cigarettes are filled with cheap tobacco. Nothing interesting.
And then we
cheap
got a watch.
Bought with his own money, no doubt.
Okay, let's talk to him.
Please escort this suspect for interrogation. Good evening, Mr. Chapman.
Who are you? I've got nothing to say. It's all a mistake.
Calm down, Leighton. I have come here to help you. To find out if you truly are innocent, as your younger brother Wiggins has told me.
My brother? You know him? Then that means you're...
Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, blimey. All right, Mr. Holmes. I'll tell you everything.
It's good when they trust you. It's a big scar.
Good. Tell me your account of what happened.
I left my work, and I hurried up to see the fireworks in Whitechapel. I was late, so I decided to cut through Half Moon Street. I saw the first fireworks light up in the sky. I bumped into a constable on a corner before entering Half Moon. Then suddenly, what with all the firework flare, I saw 2 men. They were both lying flat in the middle of the street. I stopped where I was. I thought about turning back to the police, but as I was thinking of that, I saw a third person. He was leaning over the body that was furthest from me. The second I saw him, he raised his head and he stared at me. In a flash, I saw his gun, but he made a dash for it instead and he escaped through Whitechapel Street.
So you might still have had time to return to the constable.
I panicked. I didn't know what to do. Anyway, I approached the bodies just to see if they were still alive. I saw that one had blood pumping out of his stomach. He was dying. It was horrible. The second one was already dead. He had a hole in his head. He was holding a gun in his hand, though. I took it, and then I followed the third man.
Okay. So the gun he took was the guy that got shot in the head. And that guy had fired 2 bullets. So the third person could have been with the guy that was shot in the stomach. So he shot and killed the guy that killed the other one. Which means that there should still be a bullet in the alleyway.
Interesting. Pray, continue.
I turned a corner, and I saw the man standing in the middle of the street. He seemed to be in some sort of panic. And then, Mr. Holmes, something strange happened. I told the police and they laughed at what I said, but I swear to you, my words are true. I started running towards him. But then I was blinded by a flash. It was so bright that I hardly saw anything for a good dozen seconds. But I kept running forward. As I arrived in Whitechapel, I heard a woman screaming. And then I was caught by the police. But there wasn't a trace of that man. Of course, then they found a gun and all that blood. I couldn't see the murderer escaping and all that mess. Perhaps I was still half-blinded at that moment.
A thrilling account, my young man. Leighton, are you able to describe the person whom you saw standing in Half Moon Street?
Well, I wasn't able to see his face at all. It was too dark, and he was too far away. I could see his silhouette.
And what about that?
Nothing so special. He was wearing a jacket. He was quite average in size and his weight.
I see. Was there anything else that struck you at the time?
No. But perhaps... It's strange, but I can't remember the sound of his footsteps as he was running away. Perhaps it was because of the fireworks or the surprise of me seeing him.
Okay.
Leighton, I confess I am puzzled. Why should a young lad like you take a gun from the hands of a dead man and set off in pursuit of a probable killer?
I know. I keep wondering that, but at the time it was like a reflex. A criminal ought to be arrested, and he was armed.
You were willing to risk your life. That was a little foolish, unless you wanted revenge.
No, Mr. Holmes. I was just being brave and stupid.
I'm sure that you were, but I believe that you may have recognized one of the victims, Brian Vercotti. You knew that gentleman well, did you not?
However could you know that?
You have a typical tattoo of the Westgate Brotherhood upon your hand. I observed exactly the same mark upon Mr. Vercotti. You came to know him from your sharing a past prison sentence. Am I correct, Mr. Chapman?
Oh, God. You're right, Mr. Holmes.
Would you tell me a little about Brian Vercotti?
We were convicted for a robbery. Once in prison, both of us joined one of these fraternities. During that year, we tried to help each other out, you know?
You were quite young then, I believe.
Yes, Mr. Holmes, we were. We'd only stolen a pound of meat. After we were released, and when I saw what my little brother had become, I decided to work towards living an honest life.
And Vercotti?
He had a hard time. His sister had died in a Whitechapel dispensary while he was in prison. He had no family anymore. Our paths split. He fell back into crime.
So you lost him?
Yes. And for around 2 years, I heard no news of him at all.
We shall see you soon, young man.
Okay. Okay. That gives me quite a few. Yeah, that's what I reckon. Okay, and then if I go firing position, damn, he was not, definitely not Leighton. Okay. Dialogue. Okay, gotta go back to Half Moon Street and reenact what happened. Okay.
What's up with you, lad? What are you waiting for?
I'm waiting for my brother to be released.
Your brother?
The one that you caught, beat up and imprisoned.
Ah, the murderer.
He ain't killed no one, copper.
Watch your mouth, lad, else you'll be joining that worthless brother of yours. It would be my pleasure to assist you with your investigation, Mr. Holmes.
Mr.
Okay.
Mr. Turner, you have stated that you remained close by your window after the crime. Is that correct?
Oh, yes, Mr. Holmes. I stayed at my window until the policeman arrived to examine the dead bodies.
That is very interesting, Mr. Turner. Constable Marrow stated that he did not see anyone at the window when he was running through Half Moon Street.
Well, I think Constable Marrow and me, we might have been distracted by the whistles and shouts coming from Whitechapel. We could have missed each other somehow. You understand what I mean? It was a bit of a stressful moment, to tell you the truth, sir.
Allow me to form my own theories, Mr. Turner. Would you mind showing me the view that you had from your window?
Not at all, Mr. Holmes. Please, follow me.
Mr. Turner appears to live very modestly.
So now I'm just gonna go through all of his belongings.
This fire is dying out. It was last tended. The papers are almost entirely burned. These words are illegible. The papers were thrown into the fire just a short while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Turner was roused from his bed by the sound of gunshots. The books on this shelf are in a mess. It looks as though Mr. Turner was trying to find something in a hurry here a short while ago.
Or he could just keep his books like that. Is his walking stick missing the tip? Yep. That's where the bit of wood came from.
A perfect match. So, Mr. Turner broke his stick when it became stuck between the cobblestones. He did not mention that he was so near to the victims. This kitchen knife is quite sharp. There are pieces of shredded paper scattered over the table. This kitchen knife was used to cut the paper.
Okay. I don't really see what that has to do with anything.
So, that's the view Mr. Turner had when he opened the window. Brian Vercotti's contorted corpse. The dead body of Kenneth Butler. Mr. Turner had a perfect view of the crime scene. He saw the bodies clearly, and Leighton Chapman standing over them.
Anything else you would like to know, Mr. Holmes?
Okay. So first he would have... No. He would have opened the window. Approached the body. Actually, no, he would have got up from bed first. I don't think he would have been the killer. So he would have got up, opened the window, approached the body. Place the broken stick, that, and then that. And then did that. Came over here, cut whatever it was up, and then threw it in the fire.
So Mr. Turner used a book to hide an object that he found on Kenneth Butler's body. The question is, what did he find?
What's with this weird camera angle?
I can see prints from greasy fingers upon the cover of this book. Let us take a closer look. Well now, what a find! A precious jewel, concealed inside a book.
The hell is this?
A bracelet with a unique ram's head design, a distinctive feature of ancient Grecian artifacts, probably of the Hellenistic era.
Okay. Can I talk to you again? Yes, I can.
Mr. Turner, how would it be possible for a man of advanced years, such as yourself, to rush from his bed to the window in a matter of seconds, as you have stated?
Well, I'm able to move very quickly, despite my age. And when the situation requires it, Mr. Holmes.
I highly doubt that, Mr. Turner. I observe that you suffer a severe limp due to your injured right leg. It would have taken at least 10 seconds for you to approach the window. That means you could have easily missed something or someone in Half Moon Street during that time.
You're right, Mr. Holmes. I could have missed something. But it did seem to me that everything happened so quickly. Oh, time can pull tricks on you.
And what of everything else that you told us? Mr. Turner, it is vital that we have your complete and true statement.
Mr. Holmes, I do assure you that the other things I said were most sincere.
Mr. Turner, you were not sincere with me. Not then and not now.
But Mr. Holmes...
This, Mr. Turner, does not look like anything that a poor man might possess. It is worth more than the home that you live in.
I can explain.
No, merely correct me if I am wrong. You saw Leighton Chapman through the window, but you also noticed a glittering object on the ground, this precious jewel. You walked down and took the bracelet from the body of Kenneth Butler, and when you heard the whistles, you hurried away. That broke your walking stick. It caught fast between the cobbles. Constable Marrow was unable to see you in the window as you were climbing up the stairs on your way back to your flat. Upon returning home, you hid the precious jewel inside a book.
Mr. Holmes, please don't send me to prison. I didn't do anything bad. I'm just a poor man. When I chanced upon the bracelet, I saw it as an opportunity to make a little money. I was desperate. I only took the bracelet, that's all, I swear.
You made a mistake by lying to me. But you are not a criminal. I believe that. Although I must return this bracelet to its rightful owner.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do anything to save my brother.
It would be my pleasure to assist you with your investigation,
Okay,
Mr.
let's
Holmes.
reenact this. Fired his gun twice. Find out who it might have been. Well, the gun that would have been fired twice would have been this person, because he said that he took the gun from that person's hand. Okay.
I am unable to see any higher. I need to find something to lift my lamp.
Grab the pole.
This should be useful.
And now we'll lift the lamp. To see if there's a Oh, there we go, bullet hole.
This is most definitely a bullet hole. The brick cracks are fresh. Watson, there was a third shot fired in this street.
Except Watson isn't near me. Okay, so... And then can we... 2 victims, third shot, yep. Kenneth Putnam and Brown both died of crossfire, with each of them holding a gun. One of the guns is now missing. I don't think that's right either, but... Gonna talk to... Yes, I can.
Constable Marrow, I would value...
It would be my pleasure, Mr. Holmes.
I would like to make sure that there are no places in Half Moon Street where a man could hide while you were running through it with your lamp.
All right, Mr. Holmes, what should I do?
Take your lamp. And start walking, just as you did before, and try to find me.
Understood.
Okay, so I need to hide. Actually, I'm the constable. Okay.
No, this is not how I walked at the time of the crime. I was more...
Okay, so I guess...
I can see you very well, Mr. Holmes.
All right, Constable. Let's try again. I'll find another place.
Here you are, Mr. Holmes.
All right, Constable. Let's try again.
Okay. Is he hiding on the other side this time? No. Almost didn't see
Mr.
him, though.
Holmes, it wasn't difficult to find you at all.
It is obvious now. No one could escape Constable Marrow's lamp while hiding in the street.
It would be my pleasure to assist you.
Okay. Okay, so they would have had to go up. But let me just check to see if I could ask her
I
any other.
suppose that I shall have to move my stool now.
No. Do I talk to the constable again?
It would be my pleasure to assist you with your investigation, Mr. Holmes.
Do I talk to Watson?
I'm always wondering
No.
what's...
No, wrong button. Find the flare gun to emulate the fireworks and tools for climbing the wall. Do I go back to Baker Street? Okay, let's search for the bracelet. Antiques. Is there an antique thing here? History? Greek
That
history.
is not the one
No?
I need. That is...
No? Do I need... Am I looking for the newspaper? Good if they gave me a date. That one.
That is not the one I need.
But you said it was from the Hellenistic era. Flying lobsters? Maybe I should just select everything.
That is not the one
Well. Oh well.
Here it is. I need to continue my research in my archives.
Which would be the newspaper thing that I looked at. So I was a step ahead. Kenneth Butler. Vincent Foley. Is that who I'm looking for?
Here it is. One of the victims, Kenneth Butler, was involved in the story of the stolen Hellenistic treasures. A visit to his pawn shop should tell me more.
Okay. I guess this key would be what opens up his pawn shop, maybe? No new clues? Yes, there is. But it doesn't go with any of them. Okay, so we have a bar. Here it is. Use key.
Mr. Butler's key matches the lock.
Okay, let's examine the shelves. Climbing
These
equipment.
tools are exactly what I need to climb the wall.
That works out well. And the
This
flare.
is exactly what we need
Flare
in
gun.
order to imitate the flash of the fireworks.
It's like another one of the
ram's heads. This necklace belongs to the 5 Rams of Mittelin collection. Interesting. That means that Kenneth Butler owned a part of this collection all this time, 10 years after the theft. It looks as though Mr. Butler kept a careful record of his operations.
Okay. Anyway, let's... Now that we've got the flare gun and the climbing equipment, go back to Half Moon Street and check about climbing up the walls. Should explain why Leighton couldn't hear the footsteps, because there were none.
Why are you looking at me all the time like that?
I'm just watching you, lad. I never know what to expect from people like you.
People like me?
Yes, street beggars and thieves.
I ain't a thief.
Oh, no? Then where did you get whatever it is that you're gnawing on? I very much doubt that you bought it.
What ain't seen can't hardly be stolen.
He really doesn't like Wiggins.
Constable Marrow, Watson, I would like to perform another kind of reenactment with your help.
I'm listening, Mr. Holmes.
I want to check if Leighton's testimony can be trusted. If someone could vanish into thin air at a specific moment.
But Holmes, I don't see how.
I am going to be the mysterious gentleman whom Leighton followed. I will stand exactly where he saw him before he was blinded by the flash. Watson, you will be Leighton. When I fire the signal flare, you should start to chase me.
I understand, Holmes.
You, Constable Marrow, just play your part and do exactly as you did. Just, please, wait 5 seconds after the signal flare. I doubt that Polly Powell would have screamed any earlier.
As you say, Mr. Holmes.
Let us begin then. Catch me if you can.
Hmm. Okay. Which part of the wall would be the easiest to climb?
The
Probably
moon
there.
illuminates this wall. Anyone trying to climb it would be easily spotted by Constable Marrow.
Okay, so it'd be this
This
right
wall
here.
is cast in shadow. It would be difficult to see anyone scaling it.
He's very slow.
I can barely see anything. Holmes? Are you there? Where is he? My God, a man can't just disappear like that. Holmes? Holmes? Where are you?
I cannot see you, Mr. Holmes. Dr. Watson, it seems that Mr. Holmes has disappeared.
Don't worry, gentlemen. I am up here, above your heads.
How on earth did you get up there, Holmes?
I am using crampons and a climbing axe, although the person we are looking for did not leave any traces of such tools. Constable, is there any way to get to the top of this building?
Yes, Mr. Holmes, I can show you. The door to the building can be found from Whitechapel Street.
Gentlemen, I am on my way down.
Okay. Broken window, so that's where the person came in.
These shards of glass are from the window above.
There's the jacket.
Someone broke through the window to get inside the attic, but in his haste he ripped his jacket. It's empty.
Okay.
A cluster of thick black threads. They're unusually strong. I should examine them under the microscope. We can conclude that the person whom Leighton saw climbed up the wall, broke into the attic window, and escaped through the hatch.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So now I need to, yeah, do that. So back to Baker Street. I wonder how much more of the case there is. Oh, there's not too much left. Been streaming for an hour, so I could probably finish the whole case in this one episode.
Let us take a closer look.
Yep.
It is not a thread, but a hair. I very much doubt that it is human. I need to compare this sample with a human hair and a horse hair. A shaving brush is usually made from horsehair. Watson, could you please pass me your shaving brush?
Here you are.
Watson, look, what's outside the window?
Well, I don't see anything. Ouch! Holmes!
Oh, don't make such a fuss. One little hair. Human hair is significantly thinner than the black sample. The horsehair is thinner than the hair that we found. So, this black hair belongs to an animal, and it is larger than a horse. A hair from a large and exotic animal.
The only thing I can think of right now is an elephant. Because they'd have pretty thick hairs. Circus acrobat. Okay. Would Wiggins be here? Yeah, why is he here?
Wiggins is currently at Half Moon Street.
I was gonna say. It'd be weird if he was there.
Wiggins, my lad, what are you doing here? You'd best be leaving and be quick about it.
I've done nothing wrong. You'd learn more by watching Mr. Holmes. He knows exactly what he's doing. Not like you.
Oi, watch your tongue.
He really does not like Wiggins.
Mr. Holmes?
We have good news for you, Wiggins. The investigation has proven very interesting so far. We found facts and details that confirm your brother's innocence.
I knew it, Mr. Holmes.
But for now, Wiggins, we need your help.
Anything you like, Gov.
I need you to locate a circus that has stopped over in London. It needs to have disposed of at least one exotic animal. A very large one.
You can count on me, Mr. Holmes.
Not really sure why it needs to have disposed of the animal.
I do hope that those children don't get into trouble, Holmes.
Don't worry, Watson. I predict some news in 7 seconds.
Mr. Holmes, we found it. Here it is.
Hey, it was an elephant.
And this is a young Indian elephant, the highlight of the show. Duval Brothers, a well-known travelling circus that is currently stopped in London. I believe that is exactly the type of circus we are looking for. I'll pay it a visit.
Don't think it would have given me any more clues, no.
Aye, you! Stop right there.
Good morning, sir. Pardon me, but why am I not allowed to walk around here?
Because it's private.
Well, I only wanted to meet the artistes.
Hmm? You're wanting to apply for... Nah. You don't look like the type of, artistic lockpicker that we're looking for.
You might be surprised.
What? Nah. I don't think so. Clear off.
Okay, I guess I need to have a disguise. Okay. Bandit outfit.
Stay where you are. What are you doing here, and where is Sherlock Holmes?
Calm down, Watson. Take deep breaths now. It's me.
Oh, thank God, Holmes. I can't get used to your disguises.
Thank you, Watson. That means I am ready to go.
Okay.
Who are you? What's your name?
My name is Nigel. I'm here to open the locks.
Talented, eh? Let's see. Go inside the marquee and show yourself to Charles Foley. And I'd highly advise you not to trick him. Got that?
I've got it.
Okay. Nothing to look at, Eddie.
So, everything is here just as you asked. And what about the money? Some of the barrels are wet. Transportation issues, it couldn't be helped. Whatever. We'll be here after midnight to pick up the supplies. I want to be paid first. No. You'll be paid after we make the transfer, as I said. Right? I hope that no one saw you. The police are on the lookout. Of course not. I'm a professional. Glad to hear it. Be ready for tonight, then.
Mm-hmm.
There are enough posters to paste across half of London's walls. From lambs into lions. That's a picture of a contemporary gentleman wearing a Robin Hood hat. This poster was clearly made to fire up rebellion. This printing press is old, but still quite capable.
Okay. And what have we got in the barrels?
This wooden barrel is damaged. There is a spot on this barrel that was intentionally painted out. This wooden the crest of the Honourable Artillery Company. Could it be?
Looks like gunpowder to me.
Judging by the fractions and the scent, I can confirm that it is, in fact, gunpowder.
And that's a lot of gunpowder.
The barrels are roughly clustered. It seems as though they were brought here in a hurry. Powder kegs, a printing press, and a great many blank papers. All of this was stolen by the Merry Men quite recently. And these poster samples. I am quite sure it is not a coincidence. The Merry Men are planning some sort of sabotage.
Stop right there. Who are you?
Are you Charles Foley?
Maybe.
They say that I can open any door.
Do they now? We'll see that lock near the chains on the table over there. Open that.
Okay, so he's got the ring. Ugh. Okay. Looks like the picture quality's dropped. Damn it. That sucks. Oh well. I want to finish this. Or should I put it here? And then I'm going to restart the stream after a short break. And that will be the final episode of this game. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.